Red Bull is not looking good as they launch a protest against rivals. Russell sends a warning to Verstappen for this season, and Jack Doohan's future is still under question. Let's get into the latest F1 news. In recent news, tension is rising in the Formula One world as Red Bull has officially lodged an accusatory file against its rivals, McLaren and Ferrari. This comes amid concerns regarding the use of flexi-wings, which are designed to adapt in shape for improved aerodynamic efficiency. Red Bull's technical director, Pierre Wache, has openly expressed his worries about these practices during the pre-season tests in Bahrain. According to a report by Analisi Technica, the FIA is taking this matter seriously. They plan to visit both McLaren and Ferrari's headquarters to conduct thorough inspections. The allegations stem from the flexi-wings issue that first gained momentum last year, when Red Bull highlighted the flexibility of the front wings used by both teams. This raises questions about adherence to the regulations and whether these teams are pushing the boundaries of what is deemed acceptable. The controversy doesn't just revolve around front wings, it extends to rear wing configurations as well. During the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, for instance, the rear wing of McLaren's Oscar Piastri was noted for its unusual flexing, which seemingly mimicked the effects of DRS, drag reduction system. Watch criticized McLaren's design in December, suggesting that the engineering team exploits gray areas of the rules for competitive advantage. The stakes are high, with Wacha highlighting that McLaren's design strategies could drastically alter the outcomes of races and potentially impact Red Bull's standing in the Constructors' Championship. As teams strategize and optimize their cars, the implications of these allegations could reverberate throughout the season. To ensure fairness in competition, the FIA is stepping up its regulations. They've installed specific cameras to monitor potential breaches of the rules, starting with the front wings. Moving forward, these cameras will also be utilized on the rear wings, complementing new deflection tests set to be implemented. These measures are anticipated to enhance scrutiny on design practices that may contravene the guidelines. In a favorable turn for McLaren, team principal Andrea Stella expressed confidence in handling these regulatory updates. He reassured fans and stakeholders that the FIA's new measures would not pose significant challenges for their team as the season kicks off. Stella's optimism highlights McLaren's readiness to adapt while navigating the evolving landscape of Formula One regulations. This situation is evolving, with Red Bull pushing for clarity in the rules about wing flexibility and performance enhancements. It will be fascinating to watch how these developments shape the upcoming races and impact team rivalries as the season progresses. Keep an eye on these unfolding events, as they promise to bring an exciting dynamic to the competitive world of Formula One. In recent discussions around the F1 landscape, a notable tension has surfaced surrounding Red Bull Racing. Critiques have emerged, specifically targeting team leader Christian Horner and their star driver, Max Verstappen. Many fans and pundits are pointing fingers, claiming a pattern of dubious behavior that raises eyebrows throughout the racing community. Critics have not hesitated to call out what they perceive as a distraction tactic from Red Bull. They suggest that gestures of grievance and protest are merely a smokescreen to shift focus away from potential infractions within the team's performance. The conversation increasingly suggests that it's time for the FIA to closely examine Red Bull's car and racing strategies to ensure absolute integrity in the sport. Verstappen, often recognized for his raw talent, is also under scrutiny. The enthusiasm from his fans often clashes with the criticism from skeptics who argue that his audacity on the track sometimes crosses ethical lines. The tension has sparked heated debates. Is he truly a racing prodigy, or does he tread a fine line between skill and unsportsmanlike conduct? As we look ahead to the upcoming races, this controversy undoubtedly will be a hot topic. Fans are eager to see how the FIA will handle these allegations and whether it will affect Red Bull's competitive edge. With the 2025 F1 calendar approaching, every development will be critical in shaping team standings and individual legacies. For viewers keen on keeping their fingers on the pulse of F1, subscribing to updates and joining newsletters could enhance the experience. Motorsports are not just about the races, they're about the stories behind them. As this season unfolds, the rivalry keeps heating up. Make sure to stay tuned, as the coming weeks promise not only thrilling races, but also the potential for significant change within the sport. Whether you are a die-hard Red Bull fan or skeptical of their methods, there's no denying the excitement of watching history happen on the track. As we gear up for the Australian Grand Prix, McLaren has emerged as a strong contender on the track. They've demonstrated impressive potential during testing, making them the team to beat. But here's where things get interesting. Red Bull holds an ace up their sleeve in the form of Max Verstappen. Helmut Marko, a key figure in Red Bull's strategy, believes Verstappen could be the joker card that tips the scales in their favor. During the preseason tests in Bahrain, teams were eager to gauge their performance. While specifics around fuel loads and engine settings remained under wraps, the consensus was clear. Analysts and enthusiasts alike are buzzing about McLaren's strengths, and many consider them the frontrunners. Red Bull, along with giants like Mercedes and Ferrari, is not far behind, leading to what promises to be a gripping season. Throughout the three-day test, McLaren showcased dominance in race simulations. Meanwhile, the MCL39's tire management outperformed its rivals, further solidifying McLaren's position as early favorites. But what about the tech behind the cars? Red Bull's RB21 has secrets that could play a crucial role this season. Insights into McLaren's revamped front suspension reveal strategies that could shift the dynamics of the race. Marko anticipates that the championship race in 2025 could unfold as a thrilling four-way battle among McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, and of course, Red Bull. However, he admits that McLaren appears to have an edge at this stage. Marko noted that McLaren's advantage could be quantified at approximately 0.3 of a second in race conditions. While variables like weather have influenced performance, the consistency McLaren demonstrated is noteworthy. On several occasions, Red Bull was able to match their pace, but they still face a 2 to 0.3 gap when it comes to long runs. As we inch closer to the season opener in Melbourne, all eyes will be on how these dynamics unfold. Can Verstappen's prowess balance McLaren's early lead? Will the technology behind their cars level the playing field? Stay tuned as we continue to follow this thrilling saga in Formula One, where every race could redefine the competition. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest updates on the F1 season. As the Formula One season heats up, McLaren is positioning itself as a strong contender, with drivers Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri both aiming for the world title. However, Helmut Marko emphasizes one crucial advantage for Red Bull. In his words, it's all about Max Verstappen. During the Bahrain test, Norris clearly excelled, but Marko insists that Piastri is equally capable and sees their competition as beneficial for Red Bull. The pressure to perform is on, especially as Marko acknowledges Verstappen as their designated number one. He adds a caveat: Piastri has shown his speed on various tracks and isn't just playing second fiddle. What impresses Marko about McLaren is their car's adaptability. The MCL39 handles tire variations and temperature fluctuations exceptionally well, which has given them a leg up this season. Meanwhile, Red Bull's RB21 isn't showing the same versatility yet. But Marko believes that with Verstappen behind the wheel, there's a potential ace up their sleeve, even if the car isn't in perfect form. Marko notes, "If the car isn't optimal, we have our joker in Max, who can use his driving brilliance to turn things around." This sentiment captures the essence of F1 racing. Sometimes it's not just the machine, but the driver's skill that counts the most. Switching gears, let's discuss another exciting comparison. Marko recently highlighted the dynamic between Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. He finds this rivalry intriguing, especially as Leclerc seems to be drawing attention for his pace. It raises the question, is Hamilton still at the upper echelons of performance that Leclerc is hitting? On the note of talent and determination, Yuki Tsunoda has received a stark warning about what it will take for him to stay on the grid beyond 2026. Marko emphasizes the need for Tsunoda to motivate himself to secure his driving future. These insights from the heart of Red Bull Racing offer a revealing look at the competitive landscape of Formula One as teams gear up for the Australian GP. With a gripping season ahead, every driver's performance will be crucial in determining who will rise above the competition. Stay updated with all things F1 by liking and subscribing, and don't miss out on any thrilling developments this season. George Russell has sent a fresh warning to Max Verstappen following their explosive clash at the end of the F1 2024 season, showing no signs of backing down. The tensions escalated during an intense qualifying session in Qatar, where an on-track incident between the two drivers led to a heated exchange. Verstappen expressed publicly that he had lost all respect for Russell after their confrontation. The drama unfolded when both drivers were on slow laps during qualifying. Russell, caught off guard, encountered the slow-moving Verstappen as he was making his way back to the pits. This incident led to both drivers being summoned to the stewards, with Verstappen ultimately receiving a one-place grid penalty, despite the fact they were both on cooldown laps. Verstappen, clearly agitated, shared his feelings in a post-race media session, revealing the depth of his frustration. "I was quite surprised when sitting there in the steward's room," he remarked, disappointment evident in his voice. He'd encountered many racers in such meetings throughout his career and noted that he had never seen anyone try so hard to sabotage another. Taking it a step further, Verstappen accused Russell of being two-faced. In his words, Russell presented himself one way on camera, but was very different in private discussions. "I can't stand that," he proclaimed, adding, "In that case, you can better f*** off." 1 week later, tensions flared again in Abu Dhabi during an extraordinary media session where Russell confronted Verstappen's claims. He recounted how Verstappen was swearing at the stewards even before he had the chance to speak. "He was so angry before I'd even spoken, and at the end of the day, there's nothing to lie about," Russell stated, emphasizing the facts were clear. Verstappen was on the racing line and going too slow. Russell has known Verstappen for years and revealed a chilling threat made by the Dutch driver. Verstappen told him he would purposely go out of his way to crash into me. Although Russell recognized the comment was made in a moment of anger, he later sensed there was a deeper truth behind it. In an insightful comparison, Russell suggested that Verstappen struggles to handle adversity, contrasting his reaction with that of his former teammate, Lewis Hamilton, in challenging situations. He noted how Hamilton once stood his ground against Verstappen and lost a championship unfairly in the process. Furthermore, Russell pondered how the tables would turn if the championship roles were reversed, suggesting that Verstappen would have reacted very differently had he been in Hamilton's shoes. This fueled the narrative that their rivalry is far from over, especially as F1 gears up for the 2025 season. Russell bluntly stated that he has no intention of mending fences with Verstappen. "That happened last year. I want to focus on myself," he explained in an interview, emphasizing that they won't revert to being friends again anytime soon. With their relationship strained, all eyes are set on the future as these two fierce competitors prepare to battle on the racetrack once more. It's clear that the rivalry between George Russell and Max Verstappen is just heating up, and fans can expect tension to spark on the track as they face off in the next season. Cowed by the situation, George Russell firmly stands his ground against the fierce competition posed by Max Verstappen. He asserts, "I wasn't going to just stand and be bullied around." It's clear that while Verstappen's aggressive approach may intimidate some, Russell has no intentions of backing down, even if tensions escalate. Russell emphasizes that his focus isn't on forming friendships with world champions, but rather on winning races. "There's no love lost," he stated, showcasing a competitive spirit. He's not scared to race against Verstappen and has always been ready to put up a fight when it matters most. As we look toward the future of Formula One, intriguing dynamics are emerging, especially regarding the potential shift of Verstappen from Red Bull. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has made it known that he would love to welcome Verstappen should he seek a new challenge before his contract ends in 2028. If such a move occurs, it could see Verstappen join Russell as a teammate or even replace him. However, Russell remains unfazed by this prospect. "I don't think there's any pressure whatsoever," he remarked confidently. He believes his capabilities will speak volumes, stating, "All I need to do is continue doing what I've done my whole career." With a strong belief in his abilities, Russell asserts, I want to go up against the best. I don't feel that my ability is in question. Having stepped up into a leadership role at Mercedes following Lewis Hamilton's departure for Ferrari, all eyes are on Russell to see if he can rise as a world championship contender. However, he expressed doubt that either he or Verstappen would challenge McLaren for race wins anytime soon. McLaren looks by far the strongest, he acknowledges, highlighting the impressive performance of their car. As the season progresses, fans will be keen to see how Russell navigates his path in this challenging environment, especially with such formidable opponents in the mix. The race for supremacy in Formula One 2025 is still very much alive, and the upcoming battles promise to be thrilling and packed with drama. Can Jack Doohan block out the noise surrounding his Alpine seat? The buzz around his future has been growing, especially following revelations from Kimi Räikkönen's former engineer, Julien Simon Chotham. He reported that Doohan faced a significant gap in lap times compared to Pierre Gasly during pre-season testing. It's a crucial time for Jack Doohan as he embarks on his first season in Formula One with Alpine. However, it seems like a storm is brewing over his head, with speculation suggesting that his days with the team might already be limited. Last year, Alpine made waves by announcing that Doohan would take over from Esteban Ocon, who was moving to Haas, and race alongside Pierre Gasly for the upcoming F1 2025 season. This announcement came on August 23rd, and just a week later, Franco Colapinto took the spotlight by replacing Logan Sargent in the Williams F1 car, garnering attention from various teams, including a notable interest from Alpine Executive Director Flavio Briatore. Briatore's involvement was significant, as he was seen in discussions with Colapinto and his management during the Qatar Grand Prix. Shortly thereafter, he confirmed that if an opportunity to acquire Colapinto arose, it was definitely something to consider. As excitement for the F1 2025 season builds, fans have their eyes peeled for several under-the-radar stories to watch out for. Among them, the situation surrounding Jack Doohan just might be the most gripping. Although officially a reserve driver, speculations point to Colapinto being a potential replacement for Doohan. Briatore added fuel to the fire during an interview, stating, "We'll start the year with Pierre and Jack. I can guarantee that. After that, we'll see as the season progresses." Briatore's pragmatism is evident as he emphasizes the need for results in the fast-paced world of Formula One. "If there's a driver who isn't making progress, who isn't bringing me results, I change him. You can't be emotional in F1, he highlighted. The stakes are high for Doohan, with insiders suggesting he has 5 races to prove himself. Former F1 driver Ralf Schumacher even hinted that it might be a case of Australia or bust. He echoed concerns about Doohan's performance, noting that if he doesn't deliver, the pathway to a future with Alpine could quickly close. The pressure is only heightened as Doohan heads into the first race of the season, with Colapinto positioned as the preferred reserve driver for Alpine. As the season kicks off, all eyes will be on Doohan to see if he can silence the rumors, showcase his talent, and secure his place in the driver's seat for the foreseeable future. With the countdown to the races beginning, the motorsport community is bracing for what could be an eventful 2025 season. Will Jack Doohan rise to the challenge, or will the rumors become a reality? As the pressure mounts on Jack Doohan in his rookie season, the situation does not look favorable. Karun Chandhok from Sky F1 highlights the challenges he faces, emphasizing that it's tough for someone in Doohan's position. He points out that having former driver Franco sit idly on the sidelines throwing bananas around means there's unnecessary negativity surrounding Jack. Chandhok raises a valid concern about the bad vibes in the pit garage, which can significantly impact a rookie's performance. Compounding these pressures is a worrisome comment from Julien Simon Chotham, a former engineer with Alfa Romeo. He claims Doohan's preseason testing times lag behind, notably when compared to Pierre Gasly, indicating a substantial gap. As the Formula One circus heads to Melbourne, there's a call for Alpine to provide strong support for their driver. Sky's David Croft emphasizes the importance of backing Doohan publicly. He recalls a tough qualifying outing where Doohan, despite being a 10th off Gasly, faced unfortunate circumstances traffic-wise. The instructions were clear: bring the car home safe, which might have contributed to his underwhelming performance in the eyes of the spectators. Croft believes that if team leaders like Flavio Briatore or Ollie Oakes would simply declare, "Doohan is our man for the year," it could quell the rumors swirling around his future. The speculation creates uncertainty that could hinder Doohan's confidence and progress this season. Ralf Schumacher also weighs in, cautioning that Doohan's future might hinge on his performance after the upcoming Australian GP. The pressure is heavy, but there's hope that the early season jitters might fade as the reality of racing settles in. Will Jack Doohan last the entire 2025 season with Alpine amidst the rising tensions? The clock is ticking, and the motorsport community awaits answers. As the rookie navigates these challenges, his resilience will be key to turning the tide in his favor. Only time will tell if he can rise above the whispers and carve his path in Formula One.